Hello and welcome to today's webinar on Truths and Myths of the Successful Oracle ERP Cloud Implementation by KPMG. We thank you for taking the time to attend today and I hope that you will find this time useful. My name is Hayden and I work with UKOUG to deliver events and webinars such as this one. Today we are extremely grateful and lucky to welcome Adam.Obrien and Fiona.Martin, our hosts from KPMG. Should you wish to get in contact with Adam or Fiona, their emails are on the screen or will be on the screen shortly and will be at different points throughout the webinar. Before we get started, I just want to share a bit about what we as UK Oracle Group do to support all of you, our community. We deliver content through webinars, meetups, events and conferences relating to all Oracle applications and technologies. Whether it's a problem with said technology, a latest update, or to make better informed decisions when deciding your journey, we as your community can help. Being independent from Oracle means we deliver unbiased content and provide honest solutions to your problems as well. We throw around 50 events a year. We have over 700 organisations as members, and we have over 750 resources for you to use at your leisure. Whether you want to meet like-minded individuals, hear from experts, or put forward content to help others, we are the user group to help you. Just quickly to highlight some of our upcoming events. On the screen, you can see we have our annual OUG Scotland event on the 12th of June. We will be hosting 6 streams of content, including sessions on database, middleware and development, Apex, business analytics, clouds, and on-prem. I've highlighted some of the sessions that may be of interest to you on the screen, but if you do wish to view the full agenda, the link is available for you on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And we are also very excited to announce our Applications Unlimited event in Reading on the 18th and 19th of June. Currently in the process of calling for content, meaning if you or a peer or a colleague wants to speak at the event, then please do just follow the link on the middle of the screen to submit your paper. We are hosting streams on Transition to Cloud, EBS, Hyperion and PeopleSoft. So if you are able to talk on any of these subjects, please do put forward your submission and that will be reviewed by our committees. If you'd like to know more about any membership or what events we have coming up throughout the year, then please don't hesitate in getting in contact with me. My email is on the bottom hand of the screen. However, you will receive a post-event email from me, so you can just respond to that as well. Before we get started as well, just a few housekeeping. If you have any questions, Fiona and Adam will both be taking questions at the end of the webinar. All you need to do is pop the question in the question box and they will get to it at the end. If you are unable to hear or if the screen is a bit distorted, then please do just type in the question box, I can't hear or I can't see, and we will try to fix the problem for you. This webinar is also being recorded, so upon completion, you will receive a link to the webinar. We'll also include Adam and Fiona's contact details should you want to reach out to them directly. Mine will be in there as well, along with events we've got coming up, so you'll have links to those as well. Now, just before I hand over to Adam and Fiona, we will be conducting a quick poll, which will help for today's webinar. And we will launch this now. So you should see the poll being distributed now on your screens. If you can just answer, I'll leave about 1 or 2 minutes for this. We're almost there. I think we're just waiting on 1 or 2 more people to vote. Okay. So we're almost there. We're just waiting for one more person to vote, and then we'll be able to move forward. Okay. I'll just share those poll results with everybody now. Okay, so everyone can look at those there. So we all get to have a look at those answers there. I'll just hide them now from everybody and pass over to Adam and Fiona without further ado.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this KPMG webinar in conjunction with the user group. My name is Fiona.Martin. I'm a director here within the KPMG Strategic Alliances team responsible for working with Oracle. I'm just going to kick off before we hand over to Adam, who's going to take you through most of the content for today. As Hayden said, it would be great to get your questions as we go. We will be having a Q&A at the end, which I'll facilitate in conjunction with Adam. So a little bit about myself. I've been working with Oracle applications now for, as you may have seen from yesterday's UKOUG LinkedIn posting, a number of years. I actually started with Oracle E-Business Suite Release 7 and have seen both the applications and the way people work with them change over the years. As we move through today, we've put together an agenda which we're just going to talk a little bit about the history of Oracle applications in the cloud and where we think they are. We're going to share some headlines around cloud programs and how we see our clients working with them and headlines from Oracle. We're then going to talk a little bit about the reality and what that would mean in terms of your planning. And we're going to share a little bit about how we see the future and helping you get ready for a move to Oracle ERP Cloud. Hopefully you'll all find something useful to take away from this webinar. We want to make it really experience-based. So without further ado, let's have a look at the history of Oracle applications in the cloud. So we've attempted here to plot a timeline, and when I was putting the content together for this webinar, we thought, let's just think about the timeline in two contexts, where we came from as Oracle customers. So if we think back to 2005, I mean, as I said, I started with eBusiness Suite Release 7. That's way before 2005. Oracle's application portfolio was built around eBusiness Suite. In 2006, we saw them start on an acquisition trail quite aggressively. A number of you may be PeopleSoft JD Edwards customers. And they carried on with an applications portfolio along that product line right the way through to 2010, where Oracle announced Fusion Applications. And I guess all of us who've been around the Oracle applications world for a long time will kind of remember that great announcement in 2010 of what Fusion Applications was going to bring and deliver. It was actually 2011 we all saw Fusion Applications demoed for the first time. But I then started to think about this in the context of when did I first interact with Oracle applications? When did we, KPMG, start to see our customers embrace them? And actually in 2013, we were privileged to work with dunnhumby, who were one of the first cross-pillar Oracle applications clients globally, putting in modules from ERP, HCM, and CX. In 2014, we were privileged to work with one of the first insurance clients globally with Royal London, who are putting in a solution based on Oracle ERP Cloud and other components to solve their regulatory and reporting needs. If I move forward to 2016, I think that's when we first saw from Oracle a large number of references appearing in the market of clients that are adopting ERP Cloud. They were across a broad range of industries, a broad range of countries. We also saw from a KPMG point of view, some of our largest clients with Lloyds Banking Group, a large grocery retailer, Whitbread to name but a few, starting big programs to transition their finance functions to ERP Cloud. In 2017, we saw the cloud products from Oracle referenced by Gartner as a leader for completeness of vision and ability to execute. And then let's just think, before I hand over to Adam, of where we are now. Well, I think we see a full suite of cloud applications, across ERP, HCM, we're developing supply chain solutions, EPM. We're now in a quarterly release cycle with new functionality and a really strong roadmap, with Oracle listed as a leader in Oracle's got in the Magic Quadrants for ERP, EPM, and HCM, which is why we thought it was quite timely to put together this webinar to help those of you that are maybe considering that move to cloud to understand some of that truth and reality and help plan that journey. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Adam to take you through some more detail.
Hi, thanks, Fiona. I'll introduce myself. Well, my name's Adam.Obrien, and as the LinkedIn profile did suggest, I have been doing this for nearly 25 years in terms of Oracle-based transformation. And for the last 6 years, I've been solely focused on cloud ERP transformation and how we do that better. And I've been responsible for delivering programs that Fiona mentioned there at Royal London, architected the solution at Lloyds Banking Group, and recently delivered at the largest UK retailer in the last couple of months. So what I wanted to do was, as Fiona suggests, was go back to when cloud first really emerged in the application in the ERP space, and look at some of the messages that came out at that point around, what the cloud would actually bring, and then start to think about, well, have those messages actually come to life, and actually share some other observations as to what we see when we've been implementing in the cloud, which hopefully will be useful for those who are about to embark on this particular journey. And indeed, for some of you who already have done this, there may be some lessons there as to how you maximize the benefits of your investment in the cloud. So we move on to the next slide. So what we've got here are some of the announcements that Larry made at Open World in 2015 around the cloud and some of the promises it makes. So the first one there is the cloud lowers your cost of ownership. Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? It takes less time to deliver. It's quicker to implement. You don't need to buy hardware and implement the hardware. So surely that must be true. Well, we'll come back and look at that. Performance is faster in terms of your database, your middleware, and your analytics. So you're at the forefront of the latest infrastructure. So you're getting that maximized performance. Let's move on to the next slide. Another one here is, I mean, how many of us who worked in the on-premise world and see people join the workforce who then look at the IT that we actually had to use in the HR and finance functions and think we were going back to a period in history that was so far back? The claim of cloud is that goes away because you stay current, you get the latest technology, be that artificial intelligence, machine learning, or any other as yet undiscovered technology as this paradigm continues to work. And the other one which came through is that, well, how many of us have been on programs where we spend several years going through an implementation or an upgrade, and then within 4 to 5 years we suddenly find ourselves having to go through it all over again because the version we're on is currently becoming unsupported, and so that whole cycle of implement and upgrade drives a whole level of cost of ownership in terms of cloud. And so another claim here is that actually this should be the last upgrade you'll ever do. So what I'd like to do is to take those 4 themes or 4 headlines and look at some of the other observations that we've seen in terms of cloud and think about what we've seen in terms of the reality as to what's actually happened. So if we move on, the first one I'd like to talk about is, and this is an observation, that it's really important to start by defining the business outcomes. Now, one of the observations that we've made is that the actual dynamic of who's actually buying the cloud ERP has actually changed from what was very much a CIO and an IT organization driven purchase to one that's actually driven much more by the functions. And that's largely driven by the functions actually seeing what they can get in terms of the actual richness of functionality and interaction with the software on the cloud products, but also the fact that you actually can stay current. The second is, what's really important is by defining the outcomes, you set the direction of actually what you're trying to achieve. And so you're actually focusing the project team on delivering real tangible benefits rather than just executing a plan which delivers an on-time scope that's been defined. And so what that actually drives, interestingly, is a focus being much more on delivering benefits and value rather than just delivering a tightly defined scope which doesn't necessarily align to the actual business outcome.